I'm Sophia. Today I'm going to talk you through some hip stretches, something that we could probably all do with a little more in our lives. We're going to start on our back. So a couple of options on your back. Number one is crossing the ankle over the knee and just gently encouraging the knee out without yanking or pushing on it. And if you're comfortable here, you can draw the left leg in if you've crossed the right foot over it. If this is not enough of a stretch, then you can take the right knee across the left. And again, you can bring the knees in towards you. Maybe you can hold gently around the front of the shin, or possibly even grab a hold of the feet and just very carefully encouraging the feet towards you. Okay, so really important with stretches is not to yank, but actually to be very careful with yourself and give your body time to open. So just take a few breaths in this nice crossed knees position. And then let's transition into happy baby pose. So you're going to take the feet up to the sky. Now, if you can't hold around the outside of the feet, then you can hold around the back of the legs. So you're pressing the feet up to the sky, and at the same time, you're pulling down with the hands. And instead of letting the tailbone lift, you want to press the back of the pelvis and the tailbone into the air. So there's that real sense of pulling down at the same time pushing up. Your arms are inside your knees and you're encouraging your knees towards the floor. Happy baby pose. And if you want to, you can rock a little bit from side to side. Okay. And then you can draw the knees together. Rock and roll yourself up to sit. And we're going to come into a Baddha Konasana, where you bring the soles of the feet together and you allow the knees to open. Now, if you struggle to sit up out of the floor here, come to sit on something, a brick, something higher, or if you don't have any kind of official yoga props, then you can just use a pillow or cushion. So in this variation, we're going to sit up nice and tall. You're going to let the knees be heavy. Take a hold of the feet somewhere, maybe encourage them in a little bit closer. And then hold onto the feet, lift your spine up towards the sky. And if you need more stretch here, if you don't feel quite enough, then you can encourage yourself forwards. Maybe you're one of those people who can lengthen all the way down to the floor. But you want to be, again, very kind and gentle to yourself here. So there's a sense of lifting out in the spine and a settling down with the legs. Not pulling, not yanking, just being really, really mindful of the alignment of the body. And then we're going to take it into a long lunge. So we're going to take ourselves into a low lunge, taking the right foot forwards and keeping the knee above the ankle, but encouraging the left knee back as far as you need to feel a bit of a stretch. If you've got sensitive knees, then you might want to put a blanket or flip the mat over for your back knee. But my best tip for knees is to try and roll forwards of the kneecap so that you're not right on top of the kneecap, but you're actually slightly forwards, more towards the quadricep. And then here, again, if your hands don't reach the floor, then use some props, maybe the bricks or something higher, yeah, so that you're comfortable if your hands don't comfortably reach the floor. And if you feel like there's easing in the front of the left hip, then just send that foot a little bit further away. Just encourage it a little bit deeper. And then you're going to walk the right foot out to the side. So you can take your hand inside and walk the foot, heel toe it out to the edge of the mat. Turn your toes out very slightly. And coming into lizard pose, so working a little bit more on the inside of the thigh. Here, we've got a couple of options. Again, if you're struggling to reach the hands to the floor without curving the spine, then come up onto some props. If it's really comfortable for you, then again, you might come further down, okay, onto the forearms. And if you're not quite there, then you can place a brick under each forearm or pillow, whatever you have, some books maybe. And you want to encourage the spine to stay nice and long. If you want to make this a bit more of a dynamic stretch, tuck the back toes and lift the back knee. So you've got that sense of reaching forwards to the crown of the head and reaching back through the back heel. And then transitioning now into pigeon, which will be the deepest hip stretch today. So you're going to walk that right foot in across you, take the knee behind the right hand, lengthen the left leg out behind you, and settle the hips in squarely. Now, again, you might not be quite comfortable here, so you might need a brick underneath the right side, or a bolster is just as good if you've got one that's pretty comfortable, so that you can square through the hips. You're not leaning all the way to the right side or to the left, you're somewhere in between. And maybe you stay here. Now if this isn't possible for you, if pigeon's really uncomfortable, then you come straight back to the beginning of the sequence and you start with the other side, with the left ankle crossing over the left knee. And then you can maybe walk yourself forwards if you find this comfortable, again coming onto the forearms, or maybe even extending the arms, bringing the forehead to the floor. And if you ease off, you might not require any kind of prop. So remember, don't lean all the way to the right side. You want to keep the spine nice and long, and you want to keep level through the hips. And then walk the hands back underneath you, tuck the back toes under, and then maybe go through a little walking out of the feet in downward facing dog. And then we start all that all over again on the second side. So come to sit back down. So maybe you've already started that because you skipped pigeon. Taking the left ankle over the right knee. Staying with this, or maybe hugging the leg in towards you. Or crossing the knee over and maybe encouraging in. Or taking hold of the feet and encouraging them in. Whatever's comfortable for your hips, okay? Just give them time to ease off. Especially if you're doing this cold, maybe first thing in the morning, just be very, very mindful of how the body's reacting. And then we come back into happy baby pose. Taking hold of the outside of the feet. Pressing the feet to the sky, drawing them down with your hands, and keeping the back of the pelvis on the floor. So I see a lot of times people lift the pelvis just to feel like they're getting a bit further, but what you're actually just doing is not getting into the hips, but you're getting into the spine. So you really want to draw those feet down and press the feet up. Don't forget, if you can't quite hold the feet, better to hold behind the thighs and to flex out through those heels than to sort of struggle to reach for the feet. And then draw the soles of the feet together, knees together, rock and roll yourself up to sit. Baddha Konasana again. Okay? And there's a more intense version that you can do by drawing the feet in a little closer, but make sure that you can sit up. So if you're sitting up on a brick, the first time you're probably going to sit up on a brick the second time. It's fine, you get the same intensity, but you can lengthen out through your spine. Okay? So maybe you don't want to lean forwards. Maybe you just want to stay upright, just encouraging the feet towards the bottom. If your knees are really straining here, if they're up here and you're getting rid of shakes, then it's better to prop the knees up, you know, with as many props as you need on both sides, than to be straining. So use as many props as you need for your body. And then transitioning into low lunge. So stepping the left foot forwards, knee over ankle, stepping that right knee back behind you. And making sure that you're either padding the knee or rolling forwards of the kneecap. And I really don't mind if you have the toes tucked, if that's more comfortable, or if you have the toes untucked. But the front knee is over the front ankle. And again, you can use the props underneath the hands so that you're in as comfortable position for your body today. And then walking that foot out to the side, so placing the hand inside, coming into lizard pose. Turn the toes out very slightly so they're in line with your knee. Staying as intense as you need. So maybe you're keeping the back knee down. Maybe you're coming down to your forearms, or maybe with bricks underneath each arm, so you're a little bit higher. You've got equal weight between the arms, lengthening through the spine as opposed to curving just to achieve reaching the floor. And if you did the first time, lift the back knee, make it more of a dynamic stretch. And then drop the knee, bring the hands back underneath you. And transition now into pigeon. So walk or transition the foot across the body, left knee behind the left hand. So you actually want the knee wider than the hip. So quite often I've seen people bringing the knee across the body. You want the knee to be outside. And then lengthen your right leg out behind you. If you use a prop behind you on the first side, use it on the second side. And then encourage yourself to be square through the hips. You're almost dragging your right hip forwards, your left hip back. If you need more intensity, then come down. Try to treat both sides equally so that you're not just working your longer, more flexible side more deeply than your shorter, maybe stronger side. So treating both sides equally. So basically, that means that you're limited by the tighter side. The good news is everyone has a tighter side, so it's okay. And then you walk your hands back underneath you, pad out again through your downward facing dog, and you are good and stretched. So any comments or requests, please leave them below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. See you later.